Hello everyone, welcome to Wednesday. Okay, so my next couple videos, if my voice sounds all wonky or I'm a little quieter than usual, it's because my whole family got flu B, which is the flu shot doesn't cover. So we're all kind of fighting that, and it means that I might have some videos later on this week. We'll see how I go, but for right now, Advil seems to be doing the trick, and I don't really feel like doing anything else but move between my scrapbook desk and watching TV and laying on the couch, so we'll see what happens. Alright, for today's sketch, this is our sketch for today. Now, so this is the sketch for this week, and I had this awesome idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the sketch this way, and I'm not going to have an A4 photo here. I'm going to have an 8x10. So I have this 8x10 photo, and I have two small photos that can be squares. And so in case you're looking at these photos going, what? I'll explain what's going on in the pictures as I scrapbook the photos. I've pulled in some red and some teal papers from Shimelle's field trip collection, but I'm not going to pull in any of the embellishments. I pulled in papers. I'm pulling in some of these red letters, some of these silver letters, and then I'm probably going to have to go into my stash for more lettering because I have my title all worked out, and it's going to be a bit long. For the embellishments, I'm going to be using two Hedgehog Hollow. Well, this is Hedgehog Hollow, this is La La Land Crafts, but they both came in the same Hedgehog Hollow subscription box. Stamps. I'm going to be making my own embellishments because I have a little double-decker bus. I have these adorable, cute hedgehogs, which I am super excited about because pulling these in means I get some Calvin ball points. And this is going to be a Calvin ball layout too. So, and then I also have this one. So I really like this love. And then here's a stamp that is London or Europe, and I want to kind of grab that and use it possibly. And then I also have my journaling printed out. I actually sat down over the weekend and printed out journaling for a couple layouts that are going to be coming up, so that's super cool and fun. So I have these that I can kind of use as my journaling. My title is going to kind of overlap the photo, so this is going to be our big photo, and then my title is definitely going to be kind of like in this area, which is fine. So yeah, that's all my supplies, what I'm gonna get working on. I'm gonna start with the stamping because that's how we roll here. And what I'm gonna do is most of these I'm just gonna stamp with black ink, but then a couple of these cute little hedgehogs I'm gonna stamp and color with my Tombow markers. So I'll show you the process for coloring one of them, and then the rest I'll do off camera, but that'll be that. So I'm going to start with this stamping and making my embellishments, and then we'll get working on the pictures. So off camera, I went ahead and stamped all of these little hedgehogs, and now I'm going to go ahead and color them. I also stamped a couple other images, and I did color a few of them just to get a feel for what colors I liked. I colored them in a whole assortment of different shades of brown and such, and then I saved my last hedgehog to do on camera. So I'm gonna play like some canned music while I color this. You could probably skip the coloring if the coloring is not something that you like. I am using Tombow dual brush markers on hot press watercolor paper, and those are my preferred coloring mediums. Actually, it's just the one I'm the most comfortable with. I know my Tombow markers much better than I know my alcohol markers, and I'm just better at shading with them and such, and I highly recommend hot press watercolor paper for lots and lots of things. It's my favorite. Okay, so let me play some like canned music stuff, and we'll go ahead and you can watch me color. So while that hedgehog up above dries, I'm coming back down to this little girl down here. I'm going to add some glittery details to her fur. And then I'm also going to add some glossy accents and some white gel pen detail to her as well. And I did this for all of them. But I did leave them dry, so I let the Tombow marker dry, soak into the paper, be good at so it wasn't wet at all, and then I came in with the detailing. So I'm sorry there's going to be music through this entire video, because apparently I can't just have music in a tiny little bit of the video. I have to have it through the whole entire thing. I haven't figured out quite how to make it work, but that's okay, because I'm going to put it in the background and then it'll come up to the foreground while I was coloring, and I decided that was better than you just watching me silently color. Okay, so I went ahead and I fussy cut all of these cute, adorable little pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and get to work on my layout. I am sorry for the barking dog. Hold on a second, I'm going to go try to shut him up. Not sure how successful that was, we'll see. I'm going to use this graph paper as my background, and I'm going to start by getting these photos onto my layout. So I'm going to use the blue as my background, then I'm going to cut kind of a long mat for my big photo. So I know that that photo is an 8x10, and ultimately I end up cutting this at 8.5. So it's going to be 8.5 by 12, and that's what's going to go down the long ways along my page. And then I put my photo down, and I decided I wanted something between the photo and the red. I wanted a little something extra, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a sheet of vellum, and I'm going to back my photo with vellum, which earns me some more Calvin ball points. Just saying, just throwing that out there. So the next thing I want to do is I want to have a little bit of a band down across to kind of separate the red from the graph paper. And then I'm going to trim up the 2 square photos and mat them. So I end up cutting them down to 3x3 squares, and then I'm going to mat them with one of the teal patterns, and I end up cutting the teal pattern 3¼ by 3¼ I start at 3.5, but that was too big, too long in that. I wasn't happy with that. And I'm going to be using, this is one of the pattern papers from the writing pad from Field Trip. So it's from the 6x8 paper pad, which they don't call it a paper pad, and it's not like a smaller version of the large 12x12 papers. It's like journaling paper. It's hard to explain. Anyway, if you've bought Shimelle's collection, then you know what the writing pads look like. But this was just a pattern in there, and I'm going to use that to back my square photos. So I went ahead and adhered my journaling strips down on the layout. I also inked up those journaling strips with some distressed photo gray ink, and I'm going to start to work on my title. So this is about how we were out in the country doing some volunteer work with friends, and we came across a house that had a double-decker bus. And after talking to the homeowners, we discovered that the double-decker bus was from London. They had gotten it by way of Canada. They'd had it for quite a while, and it ran people. They drove it around. They took it places and everything. Of course, and it did run now. Like, it ran today. They turned it on, or the day that we were there, they turned it on. They let my youngest son go ahead. Logan, he went ahead and sat in the driver's seat, and he was telling us how it worked and how, all of that. So that was pretty awesome, and just a fun kind of, neighborhood experience. And so my title is going to be A Little Bit of London in the Country. Now I'm going to look at my red thickers and realize I only have one N, and I don't have enough N's to spell London. And that sent me off to my thicker stash, which turns into thicker reorganization. Yeah, and so I was gone for quite a while before I came back with a pair of thickers to finish up my title. I chose these little foam thickers, and I went with this like glittery teal color. I almost opened up my last pack of teal Fitzgerald thickers. I almost did, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off my title, and then we're going to get to work on just embellishing, which is going to be really easy because I've done all of the hard work on the embellishments off camera by having all of those hedgehogs colored up and ready to go. So now I'm going to go ahead and find all kinds of little homes for my hedgehogs. I did tuck that stamp that looks like England. I tucked it up underneath the London and the country, just as a little bit of an extra detail. I'm going to go ahead and add the little double-decker buses. I did consider coloring them up, but they're so little, and I thought if I started coloring them, I'd lose some of the details. So we're just going to keep them black and white, which I think is cute, and I like that as well. I'm going to go ahead and add these adorable little hedgehogs, which are totally random. And the only reason they're on the page really is because they were in the same stamp set as the double-decker bus. But that's okay. Because they were really cute. And those little loves, the only reason they're there is because they were on the same stamp set as the England. And so I decided they must all go. So I'm going to pop up some of these little hedgehogs, and I'm going to create these 3 areas of clusters. I'm going to add a little double-decker bus as part of my title. And that's going to complete this one. Once I had that coloring done, it came together very, very easily. So if you follow me on Facebook, you know that my family is down with Flu B, and I'm moving very, very slowly. So I was able to get this layout up today, yay! But I'm not sure what else is going to come the end of the week. Hopefully I'll kind of be able to kick it. But anyway, here are all the beautiful close-ups. You'll find Shimelle's original blog post down below, as always, and have a wonderful day. Bye!